Hello! How is everyone today? Welcome to today's dev stream, where we will be doing some more work on Coppice, trying to fix the bug that we found yesterday, and trying to, get the hierarchy stuff done. So, I have a few cool new things to show off. Hello, Sinister! It's good to know that I'm not just speaking to myself at the start of these streams. Sometimes it feels like that. So, first thing you'll notice is some of the colours are slightly different, and there seems to be like something over there, and if I move over here, there's something in the corner over here. You may recognise this from yesterday. But what if we look at the other wall? What if I've done something over there? Ta-da! So I worked out what I wanted to do. Basically, there are these structural pillars that are going to be like in corners and maybe splitting up long walls. Then you're going to have these smaller ones that sort of divide up where these panels are. The panels, I'm probably going to rearrange those towards the end of this stream, because I want it where you have some panels but one of the gaps is bigger. And what I've realised when I look at for example some Star Trek stuff is they actually, well, I mean, I'll let you in on a secret. They actually thought out how the starships would actually be used on Star Trek. Mind-blowing, I know. So what did they do? Well, around part way up, they have a divider. And what does that divider do? It's a handrail and sort of a bump rail sort of thing. So if sort of moving down the corridors, people can hold on to it and stuff won't bump into the walls. So I'm probably going to play around with the sizing of these and change it. But yeah, we also have a lighting strip up there. Now, it's not really providing any light, it's just glowing. I'm not sure whether I will have it actually emit, well, actually be a light rather than just an emission surface. Because I can probably just tweak the emission to make it look like it's flashing if I need to. Change the colour of the emission there. Actually getting it lighting everything. Yeah, we may have to play around with that. Maybe we can, when they change, we just change the global light colour, so I don't need to put spotlights everywhere. But yes, we have all of that in place, and we'll get to do some more. I'm going to change the doors as well. So the doors are going to be the same light colour of the panels. The panels, we may add additional texture and stuff in later, but what I want to do is just get the basics in for the rooms that we have now. So yeah, this is the change that I've made so far. We're also going to have to do something with the floor at some point, but that probably will be textures rather than anything. But the thing is, it will be easier to texture because it's a nice flat surface. It's just on plane. Same for the roof. It's just a nice flat surface. So floors and ceilings, we can texture those, but the walls, they're a bit more complex. Anyway, the other fun thing is that swooshing sound is not going to get old. So I had a delivery today. A delivery that will allow me to be organised. So if I do this and do this, I have magnetic notes on my whiteboard, and they're all coloured, so I can colour code things. Now, part of me is considering whether I want to get some more of these. But yeah, I've got these, and if I zoom in, you can see what some of them say. So for this week, we have page hierarchy. Right, I need to check. If I copy that, I paste that, how good is the... That is actually pretty good for the live text. I can see why that would see that as a Y rather than a G, because it probably I've rubbed it out. But yeah, I've got all these things, and I have planned what 8 weeks ahead. But I have had this for a while with all of this grid in place, and I was writing stuff in, and it got to the point where I didn't want to write stuff in, because you write stuff in there and you plan 8 weeks ahead, and then you ended up rubbing this out. And what you want to do is just shift everything up so that you can put some more stuff at the bottom rather than constantly like working down. So what I have done is bought these so that once this week is done, what I can do, if for example something is not done, then I can just leave it up there. If something is done, I can take it off, and then I can just shift everything up, and I don't have to rewrite everything. So you can see that we've got all the stuff here for Coppice, so we've got the page hierarchy stuff we're working on today, and some texture and lighting. These weeks are from Saturday to Friday, because I do a Saturday, Sunday, Monday stream, and then also the Wednesday stream, so it makes more sense that way. So from next Saturday there'll be the single page mode and link highlighting, and we'll probably be doing some more textures and lighting stuff. Then going into trying to do the drag linking, finish up the raid notification. So these are color coded, so green is Coppice, obviously. Blue is anything to do with the stream. Red is any sort of marketing or blog post stuff. So this is like the dev diary for August. I want to get back into writing these dev diaries. Then we have all our testing and release, and then we get into the Coppice release, which I'm doing white for miscellaneous. Orange is going to be for Streamline, and yellow is for website stuff. So as you can see, once we get Coppice 2022.2 out, we're then going to a bunch of stuff for the website, which is then going to lead us into being able to do 2022.3, and also potentially Streamline as well. So this helped me get Coppice released. It at least gives me a sense of what I need to do and what sort of milestones. Now the thing is, what I potentially want to do is I have these which are basically the size of a post-it note. You can get them in different sizes though, so these are the ones that I have. I just do that. Just showing it doesn't matter. So you get these packs and you get 5 of each thing in. Now what I'm thinking is potentially getting one of these packs that are smaller. So these are about 1/3 of the height, same width, but like you get 3 things, because some things are going to be pretty basic and simple to do. Like most of the blog posts will probably only take half a day, so then I can potentially say, okay, this is what am I doing? Brain has gone dead. This is like a full day's worth of stuff, whereas some of these maybe like half a day's worth of stuff, or maybe it's like I just have big tasks and small tasks. So like migrating Coppice to linear is not going to be that big of a task. Improving the backups probably won't be that big of a task. Most of the dev diaries, it'll probably only take an hour or two to get those written. So if I get these small ones, then what I can do is use those for smaller tasks. So I've got a bunch of bigger task things, small task things, so I can get a sense of the size of things. Because like releasing Coppice, I mean it's a big thing, but it's not big. Like it's felt like all of the work is in this bit here, so I may get some of these ones because it's only like £12. I mean, I could get a pack of 90 where I get 15 of each, but that's probably going a bit too much because I only need to do like 8 weeks ahead, and I'm already beyond that because I have stuff down here that I've not really got covered. So yeah, we will see, but this is me trying to get more organised with all this, and I've been excited to get these, so I may order these. Just like I say, they seem to be pretty good. I realised that I could do with more colours, and I think rather than just getting another set of all of these, just get the small ones. Because you can get them where it's like all just in a single colour. You can even get ones where it's all different shapes, but you only get 2 of each then, and I could do with more than that. So yeah, and then I've got a bunch of white ones free, and these white ones here, I could use those to do the dates, so I can move the dates up as well, so that I don't have to keep rewriting those. So yeah, I will probably sort that out after the stream. But yeah, that is me updating the stream and also getting organised. But the organisation that we want to do now is organising Coppice. And specifically, we want to work out why we sometimes crash with page sizes. Hey Dragon Dust, I am doing well. How are you doing today? The project is going well. We're working on the next version of Coppice, and we're currently hunting down a bug that seems to be an infinite recursion bug. Right, so we've hit it. So if I pause, you don't understand how people can keep plans and stuff up to date and functioning. I don't think you've used one for more than a week. If it is like incredibly like detailed down to this is what I'm doing today and so on, I can't do that. I can do it at the start of the day or at the start of a weekend where I can say, okay, I need to get these things done over the weekend, so I'm going to do these on Friday, these Saturday, these Sunday, and so on. If it's high level stuff like that where it's like I want to try and get these 2 or 3 things done, and it's not as much me saying, okay, this is what I need to get done this week. It's more, these are the things I need to get done. Let's give a rough idea of how long it will take. And by doing that, I can estimate that, okay, I could probably get Coppice 2022.2 out in the week of the 10th. Well, it'd be, what, if the 10th is a Saturday, 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th of September. So nothing will go wrong by releasing on the 13th of the month. But yeah, it will be, it just allows me to get a sense of how long things may take and give me a sense of what needs working on still. So yeah, I can't do, okay, I'm going to plan everything well in advance. I can at most do like either a few days ahead if I'm doing heavily in detail, or I can do quite a way ahead if I'm doing like high level concepts, and it's less of a plan and more of a estimating how long things are going to take. Right, so we're getting to here. So page linking to self, links in. Why are we getting infinite recursion? PO page linking to self dot actually it should give me the memory address. Okay. So if 5C960 is linked to from 5EDFO, so 960 is linked from DFO. And then that should still be DFO. EB is 960. So now we go to there. 870 is linked to FO. Get to 960.
Synthesis complete.
Canvas page is linked to the page. Right, so I know what's going wrong, but I don't know why it's going wrong. So if I open this up, I can explain what the bug is. We'll get rid of that, and we'll open our debug document. So what is happening is, like, we do not see this issue if we just have a pure loop. And if I close V or I close T, again it's fine. And the reason is, if I close F, then we delete this, we go to G and see, does it have any links coming in? No, it does not. Okay. So then what we do is we say, okay, does G link to F? Well, no, G does not link to F. So then we check H. Does H link to F? No. Well, does E link to F? Yes, so therefore indirectly G links to F. As F was the parent, that means we had a cycle, therefore we don't delete. And basically it is going here, and then it's sort of like looking back up to see, is the cycle here? And I believe what is happening, it wasn't actually showing the thing, but I believe what is happening is it is going to W first, and this is why it doesn't always happen, because it's a set that it gets back. But it's going to W, and then somehow it is going from W to U, and then to V to T to U to V to T to U to V to T, and it's just getting stuck there. So I think that is the problem. But the question is, why? Because we've seen, here's the chat. Right, remove page and linked. There. So, get the links out from the canvas page. So if we close U, the links out are V and W. I'm going to shift this over here. So we've got U, close that, links out of V and W. We get the destination page. Let's say it's W. We delete the link. And then we check, does the page actually exist? Because this is an optional. Are the links in? 0. Which, yes they are, because this is gone. And is the canvas page U linked to from the destination page? Now that should be returning false because there's nothing linking out. Now if it's going to V, then it should be going to V, then to T, and then to U, and then it should be exiting early because we've got a canvas page equals self. So for the child, we get the pages linking in, and we get the source page, but this should be empty. So we shouldn't get to this point, and let's stick a breakpoint there, and let's do that. Okay, canvas page dot title is V. Your canvas page dot title. Okay, so U is linked to from V, which not. So we go into there, then we go into there and go. Pages linking to self. Pages contains that, so we return true. Then page title is W. Why is pages linking to self? Links in self. You. So it's pages linking. What is the page linking to self then? T. Does T link to W? I got that the wrong way around. So self is, so if I'm here and I'm doing it from the loop, I'm going to get rid of that, and does V link to U? So U is self. So does self can't be. You is linked to from. So if self is like linked to from blah and blah is self, then no, it's not linked to from self. You can't link to self. Page is linking to self, then you, we're going to get T. Oh, no. U is linked to from, yeah, we do the children, so U self is linked to from V. And so we get the links in to self. And get the source page, which is T. The page is linking to self. I don't get why I'm this way. It's going to be easier just saying does X link to you. So rather than is linked to, links to. Because does V link to you? That's what I'm actually wanting. So let's rewrite this. Public func links to canvas page. And we're going to pass a canvas page in. So, while I'm writing this, how is everyone in chat doing? How's your day going? How was your weekend? Have you got anything planned for today? Are you up to much? Right, so same as above, does self link to self? That is not allowed, so return false. Because unfortunately links is a bit iffy because that links out, links in. So does you can get away with. And then we want to get self.links out compact map destination page. Page is linked that. If the page is linked to contains canvas page, and we return true. Otherwise, for pages linked to in pages linking or page pages linked to if page linking to page linked to is does link to canvas page, then true. Otherwise return false. So hopefully get rid of that. And we can do... Does the child page link to the canvas page we're deleting? Doing a bunch of research all day. And the debate on Wednesday. Oh, what's the debate on? Alright, so let's give this a try. Okay. We've still got the issue where the arrows aren't appearing, but I think I know the reason for that, because if we go away and come back, then they appear. So I think that is just a drawing issue, or an issue where we're not adding the links. Architectural theory, whether architects must use their careers as... Oh yeah, I remember you saying about that. You're having to argue against the idea that they must view their career as a calling, right? I mean, it's one of those things that just seems kind of ridiculous, because it's like, should you see this as a calling? No, because that's silly. Why do I need to research this? That it's the entire proposition is preposterous, so why would you ask? You can certainly quote me. The question: should architects view their careers as a calling? No, because that's silly and the question is silly. They can see it as that, that's fine, but they don't have to. If it's a 9 to 5 for them, that's perfectly fine. And, okay, let's do this in terms of programming, because I do have a bit of a rant on this. And it may help you to some degree, but there's this thing in programming where some people are like, if you're not like, oh, I'll only hire someone if you're working on your side projects outside of work. I want to see what you're doing on your weekends and what you're doing in your evenings. Show me the code that you're writing outside of work. No. No. That does not denote how good a programmer is going to be at their job. I am doing coding outside of the time which I'm doing my contract work and stuff like that. I'm doing stuff in the evenings, I'm doing stuff at the weekends. Why? Because I enjoy it. Because I enjoy doing that in the spare time. Well, guess what? There are plenty of people out there, some of whom will be worse programmers than me, some of whom will be better programmers than me, that only work 9 to 5. There's no distinction there. There are people out there who will be coding like 12 hours a day, 7 days a week, and they'd get rings run around them by people who are only working like 9 to 5, if that. So it's like, you don't have to live and breathe your job to do your job or to be good at your job. And if it's a case of, oh, well, you're not growing if you're not spending your free time doing this. Well, tough luck. If you want someone to grow at their job, train them. If you want someone to get better at the job that you are paying them to do, then pay them to get better. Don't expect them to do it for you for free. You want something out of this? Guess what? The person also wants something out of this, and what they want out of this is money, so that they can spend that money in their free time in which they're not worried about work. I'm not thinking about the contract work. Like, I'll occasionally mull stuff over in my head, but as far as I'm concerned, contract work turns off. If there's an absolute emergency, if someone needs something urgent from me, yes, I will handle that, because the people on this contract, the company, treats me very well. They are very understanding. They do not hassle me a lot. It's the whole thing of, like with crunch and stuff like that. Crunch should be avoided at all costs, but it is perfectly understandable in software, especially when you're getting very close to a release, and I mean very close as in like the week before or just the week after, where sometimes you have to work a bit harder. I work with people in the US. Release times and such are usually in the US. And guess what? If something gets released, I'm usually I won't really say the most senior developer, but I am the developer who is most familiar with the process, who is able to keep an eye on things. Now that's usually after 5 PM, but that is like one day every month or every few weeks where I just occasionally, every few hours, one evening, just have to check, are there any major crashes? If there are, I may need to jump in gear and do something, but probably not. So it's just one of those things of, it does not have to be a calling. It does not have to be something that takes up all your time. And anyone who says otherwise can get yeeted out of whatever industry they're in, because they're a toxic individual and toxic to whatever industry they're in, and they should not be there. It is perfectly acceptable to do stuff that is in line of your work, outside of work, for your own benefit, because you want to learn, because you find it interesting, because you find it enjoyable. It is equally fine not to do that, to have completely different hobbies. Guess what? I play computer games, I paint, I do all sorts of other things. I play music, I watch TV. I have hobbies other than programming. And it's one of those things of, you need that, you need to rest. The best companies are those that will actually say, okay, after 5 PM you have to go. And it's like, oh, but I want to work. Nope, you're going. You are leaving the office, or if you're at home, you're turning your computer off, and you are going and doing something that is not work. Now, it could be, okay, I'm going to go and program on my own project. That is fine. If you're an architect, it could be, oh, I'm going to go and just design some stuff that I want for my own, just fun. But you shouldn't, like, it does not affect you, or it should not affect you, saying, once the workday is over, I'm shutting off, not answering emails, not answering my phone, not thinking about this, I'm not doing any training, not doing any stuff like that, and I'm not doing anything even remotely related to my job and the industry I work in. Because that doesn't impact you at all. I mean, you could always just clip this and here's a little robot on Twitch presenting my argument for me. But yeah, anyone who says, oh, you have to be a calling, or oh, you have to do this outside of work, no. That sort of nonsense is just gatekeeping, and the only gatekeeping I am happy to do is yeeting out toxic individuals who seem to want to say who can and cannot come in. It's the whole thing of the only thing I'm intolerant to is intolerance. The only thing I will gatekeep over is gatekeepers. Gatekeepers can go away. Gatekeepers are not allowed in. Everyone else, you're allowed in, no matter who you are, no matter what you experience. If you just want to, if it's programming and you just want to learn how to do a very simple, basic thing, you are a programmer. You may not be a software developer, because software developer requires a lot more knowledge, but you're a programmer. And if you start getting up to the point where you learn all the bits to be a software developer, then you're a software developer. You get enough to actually build an app and release that app, you're a software developer. But it's one of those things of, yeah, this whole notion of, oh, you got to, because do you want to know the best thing is, the people that say this stuff, guess what? They're not doing it. You hear all like Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk, oh, people need to be in the office all the time. Yeah, and where are you saying that from? You're saying that from home. You're saying that from maybe your second home, your third home, your yacht, your spaceship. The only reason these people can say that stuff is because they are not actually doing the things that they're saying. But yeah, that is my rant on the subject matter. I mean, if someone ever said that to me, my articulation would be a lot less and would mostly be summed up as F you. But unfortunately, I'm pretty sure F that and F you is not classed as reasonable debate in universities. It should be, but it isn't. Yeah, the problem is if you go F that and F you, then what you're going to get out of that is F. MacDev indeed, Kieran. Not only MacDev with some new design on the spaceship, which I will show in a second, because I want to find out where this bug has been. Because I was looking at that, and then Sinister got me ranting. Well, I say Sinister got me ranting. Sinister got me researching for him. He was he was doing research. It was not a rant, it was research. Let's see. So add page, add link. Now I believe when we are doing this here, are we validating? We calculate with affected links. Right, so the links are there, but the pages are not. So what we need to do is update links from modified page. When we add pages, we need self dot link layout engine dot update links from modified pages. So this should hopefully fix that. I am doing well, Kieran. How are you doing today? Right, so if I delete that and then undo, it's still not there. It's there now. I mean, undoing should try undo. Yeah, we're going to do that. So PO pages. Ah, it's only adding them one at a time. PO added pages dot first. That is you. So does that mean it's going to do this again for W? Is... Oh, actually, doing it that way around, it should... Should be creating... Because U is added... debug, gyro bound. Yeah, it's not even showing up. That. Yeah, so it's showing up now. But it's there. It's undoing, it's doing the data, it's just not displaying it. Okay, a little tired, but that's because you had your first couple hours sort out your garden plot. Nice. Managed to remove the rhubarb and had to flood the soil because it was bone dry an inch deep, even with the rain last night. Yeah, it's rained a bit today. It's very muggy. I mean, it's still like occasionally like drizzling a bit. It's still damp outside, so it's very damp. But I mean, what is the temperature inside? I mean, it's 24 degrees in my office at the moment, but the thing is, it is cooler than that outside, and it is. I can have the windows open and keep it cool. So there's a bit of a through breeze coming through. But anyway, why is this not working? Update thing. Right, I want to recalculate with affected link. If I do that, affected links. There's one link. Dot first dot source page dot. Oh, is the layout engine link not there? Right. What I want. Right. So if it's just a disable breakpoints, well, I go back here, then oh, okay, enable breakpoint, and then I'm going to delete that. Now, what links are we removing? So we remove a link, we remove a link, remove a link, which is correct because we're removing one link, 2 links to there, 3 links to there. So then I'm going to undo. I'm going to add a link, add a link, add a link. But it's not displaying the links. But if I do that, remove, recalculate, remove, and it doesn't recalculate. And I'm going to undo. And that again. So, remove, move, undo. So we're adding, add links. Link. Map, yeah, map. Oh no, don't, page that title. Go from T to U. Change this to destination. Destination page is nil, which means layout entry link is probably right. So I think what I need to do is, rather than update the links every time, because that's going to be regenerating, possibly need to do set once update. And then we always update the pages before the link. Okay. So, what do we have? Updating. Private phone update. Dynamic. Let's do self.update pages, then self.update links. Bool, no. Private var once update, bool equals false. Is set. I'm going to do this object dot cancel previous perform request with target self selector and if one self dot once update object dot no self dot form selector update nil after delay 0, which will put it at the end of the run loop. Hmm. Right. That. So that does not refer to an C method object. It does. There we go. And then what we want to do is here. We can just update directly. But here we want solve once update true. Once update equal true. Am I? I don't know why I was muted there. But yeah, I was basically just explaining how the issue was dragging things, like I can drag these around. So as I get, as I complete things, I can take them off. And maybe that allows me to move stuff up. Maybe I need to move stuff down. But these are just magnets, so I don't have to like erase stuff. Or if something takes too long, move it down. Or if I want to rearrange things, I just move the magnets around. And they're all color coded, so green for Coppice, blue for blue for the stream, red for marketing stuff, orange for streamline, white is just miscellaneous stuff, and yellow is for website stuff. But I'm probably going to get some like ones that are about a third of the size, just for small things like the dev diary. Does not need to be as big as some of these, so they could be like for tasks that should only take a few hours, but I still want to keep track of. I can stick on. It will be mostly for like blog posts or actually releasing the app and so on. So yeah, it should work pretty well. Yeah, it's sort of a physical Trello board sort of thing. It just, I can write all the bits and pieces on that I want and keep them there, and I can have stuff down the bottom, and if I need to shift them up, I can do. I mean, what I may potentially go for is there are some ones where you can get basically some that are about this size, and then in fact no, don't want to do that. Let's that over to there. We just go to where are we? Here we go. So you can get these, so I may get this, so I'm getting a few extra of these ones. I just get a few of the small ones because I don't need that many small ones really, but I also get these big ones as well, which are just a bit narrower, but they're a bit a bit shorter but a bit wider, so then I can have basically the super long tasks that will probably take a full week by themselves, the ones that should take maybe 1 to 2 days, and the ones that should maybe take a few hours. And then I've got them for like marketing stuff. There are no orange ones, so I don't get streamline in here, but yeah, that's not that big a deal. Maybe I make the stream overlay orange and streamline blue, and then I've got the orange ones because the orange ones are never going to be that short really. But yeah, probably I may go for those rather than just getting a bunch of small ones, because I'm not going to use that many small ones. And I could do with a few more of these size. But yeah. Anyway, I am going to go and get myself some fresh drinks. And when we get back, we're going to start working on storing and saving the hierarchies when we close them, so they can be restored when we reopen them. So, I will talk to you all in a few minutes. I am back, and the reason I've come in here is, for those of you who may not have been here at the start of the stream, there are some slight changes around. You may notice the colour is slightly different. The lighting is slightly different. There are some things around, like these pillars that we worked on yesterday. And there is an entire wall that is still a work in progress, but looks a bit more like what I'm aiming for. So we have our large pillars in the corners and stuff, small dividers, we have our panels, and then we have a strip of lights at the top. Hi Uli, how are you doing? Just showing off some of the changes that I have made to the overlay, to the ship. Yes, there is a bit of bloom coming from the lights. They are emissive. They don't actually cast light. Oh, is that going to work? Oh, didn't work. Unless pub sub's been slow. Oh. We'll have to figure out what's going on. Unless it's a different, unless a resub is a different thing. I may need to add some logging to work that out. Oh, that's a shame. In fact, let me get... I don't think resubs are a separate thing. I'm going to have a look. Where are we? Twitch, dev. Actually, no, we can look at Twitch lib. Twitch lib. Right, let's have a look at the Twitch lib. I believe it's in PubSub. Twitchlib PubSub. Models. Responses. Message. Oh, it's not that. Oh, redemption, is it? No? It is pops up then. Events. Oh, maybe it isn't PubSub. Maybe it's the client then. Is Pokebot in chat? Yeah, Pokebot's there. Events on... Oh, on new subscriber, on resubscriber args. Ah. Let's open up Visual Studio and take a quick look at this. Where is subscribe manager? List. No, yeah, PubSub. On channel subscription. So why was that not showing up when I looked? Or was it because it's on channel subscription that I missed it? models, responses, messages. There we go, channel subscription. Recipient name, channel ID, number of streak modes. Yeah, it should send it in theory. Oh, let's see if let's see if it's working at all. API test. Done. Yeah, so it works. So that's what you should have seen, really. You should have seen that, and you should have seen your avatar appear as a sticker on me. But unfortunately, for some reason, it didn't pick it up. Let me just do this. Bring up console. Okay, console's over there, so I can bring that back down. Log reports. Player.log. Pause, connected. I'm going to have to set myself some more logs. Yeah, well, at least we know it doesn't work. It would be nice if it did work, but either way, thank you very much for subscribing again. It is much appreciated, and hopefully we'll get this working properly in future. There has to be a way to actually send those for testing, because I have stuff where I can pass it in, but there has to be a way of simulating that in the actual Twitch API. So maybe we'll look at that towards the end of the stream and see if there's some way that we can simulate Twitch sending stuff in. So right, so we have all of our stuff working here. What we want to do is what do we want to do? Yawning so much. I did not sleep very well last night. I woke up at I woke up every few hours and then ended up just getting up at 6, so. I'm using OBS, but things like the alert box for Streamlabs is probably using the same as Stream Elements, where like I can send a test message in Stream Elements, but it won't appear in the chat. For example, if I, yeah, I can do it. Stream Elements. If I'm logged in, dashboard. Streaming tools, my overlays, chat overlay. Box chat, and over I can do test message. And you can see the test message has appeared up here, but is not in the chat. So that's basically doing a similar thing to what I am doing to test things when I do things via my Stream Deck, where it will actually send a test message through the actual thing. But that is not the same as Twitch sending it and me receiving the message from Twitch. That is me putting it in and it processing it correctly. So I know that if it is all formatted correctly, it does it. But the actual notification that was sent by Twitch Okay, so I'm having a quick look. If you use the command line, you can actually do some stuff there. And if I just have a look at this, what panel? And event. So you can do that. Use the mock data server. Use mock API command to create mock data. The mock server that you can use to develop and test your application. Oh, is there something on PubSub or? Is there a way to actually use to interface with the API? Use to interface with the events service. What is the events service? Is that PubSub? No, you got events sub up here. Events that happen on Twitch when events occur for one of your subscriptions. Team channel points. And PubSub private topic updates. Wait. Event sub versus PubSub. Is there a way to wrangle the Twitch API to work with C++? Yeah, I mean, all this stuff can be used to work. You can't use TwitchLib. TwitchLib is basically wrangling the Twitch API to work with C#. I could wrangle it to work with like Objective-C or Swift. It is just a standard set of web APIs. I never have PubSub and more valuable info, such as that. Why we don't have the same amount of information there. Subscribe for top, it doesn't do what you think it does. It only fires data for brand new sub payments. No, resubs. User voices exist to extend. Okay. And let me guess. So you get all these things. Twitch IC. Right. So I think going down the rabbit hole here when they should be working on Coppice, but we can work a bit further on Coppice once we've figured this out. Okay, so pub sub is not going to be enough. Link with a suite of events that fire for virtually every piece of data received from Twitch. So if we go in, we have a look at the event. On new subscriber, we get a subscriber, and on where are we? Resubscriber. We get a resubscriber. Hit the next virtually model. Subscriber. And okay, so we want subscriber base. Because I'm assuming resubscriber. Again, that just goes up to the base. If I go to subscriber base, color, display name, ID, on name, user ID, user type. So yeah, we may need to switch over to doing this so that we can get whether they subscribed or resubscribed. Hey Hugo on Dev, how are you doing today? We are just currently checking some bits and pieces here. So we get display name, we get all stuff in there. Yeah, so what we're going to have to do is switch over to using the chat rather than PubSub for subscriptions. So we will do that at the end of this stream. For now though, what we want to do is do some saving of our hierarchies. So, what we want to have happen is when we close we want to keep track of all the stuff we're closing, both the arrows and the pages. And when we reopen, we want to open the pages, then open any links to pages that exist. Now, the reason that we say to any pages that exist, imagine I'm up here and I close P. Let's close P and Q. If I then close S, now I can't really do this now, but I can only undo, but if I had closed S, when I close P and Q, we closed the two pages, but also these two arrows. If I close S, then I want this arrow to appear because P and Q appear, but I don't want the arrow to S to appear. And in fact, we probably only want the arrow to S to reappear when the user clicks on S from P. So if they click on it from R, then it's going to open it up. They open it from P, it's going to open up. Oh, actually, I just realized something. Actually, no, that's not that big of a deal. The thing I was thinking is, one thing I'm going to change is these are going to be relative rather than absolute. So it's going to say this is so far from the center of this is so far from the center of this, and so on. And the thing I was thinking of, oh, well, what if I close S, then move R, then open S? Well, S is down here. But if I click on it on P, it's going to be a different relative there, position there, but that is fine because we'll just see that, oh, it's already open. So we're not going to actually change its position. We're only going to set the position if we open it, not if we just create a new link to it. So, right. So to store the hierarchy, we're going to keep track of all the stuff that we're closing. We need to keep track of the IDs. We're going to need the locations, and we can just do the absolute locations initially. This is just the process of closing before we actually convert it into a hierarchy. And we're going to need the connections between them. And the thing is, we are going to want to store it so that you can, because if, for example, well, I mean, S is a good example. If we close S, we want S to appear here again if you open it from this link or from this link. If you do some other link from another page, it shouldn't do that. So what we want to do is actually reference it so that where it is linking from this specific page or this specific page, so you can do either of them. Yeah. I am partly wondering whether we want to hold off on doing the hierarchy stuff just yet. Because we could implement it, but then the data's there and then it's a bit awkward to deal with. And I'm thinking, do we want to actually move on to doing some of the other bits and pieces? Specifically the single page mode. And whether that might make more sense. No, let's get page hierarchy. The hierarchies are there. We can save, we can restore. The actual data we want to store, we can do. We may just need to, if we need to wipe it and change it, we can do. So what we are going to do is, if you close a page, we're going to store that page and all of the pages that were closed as part of the operation. We're going to store all of the links between those pages, and then the pages that link into the page that was closed, we are going to I just had an idea. So it's an idea we're not going to implement now, but I mentioned this, I think it was either yesterday or Saturday. Page hierarchies at the moment are something that is stored on a canvas, and I want to move them up to being the top level object, just because it makes things a bit simpler. And it has just occurred to me that that will allow us to make hierarchies first class citizens. So in the future we could add the ability where, yes, you can open a link and it will open the hierarchy, but you could potentially open a link and say, I want to open this link as this hierarchy. And you could have different hierarchies starting from a page. So let's say S has a link to A, and you want to open A. You could click A and it will just open A. Or you could do another, like a command click or something on A, and it would say, okay, I want to open this stored hierarchy that you have had open at some point. And what that would also allow is you will be able to, for example, delete this and then add A, and you could either add A just as a page, or you could add A as a hierarchy, and then it will show you all hierarchies that you've created that have started from A. So that could be something in the future that we could add. But yeah, what we want to do is, it is going to be close it, restore the page, store any page close, and then we're going to store the relative positions of those pages. We're going to store the links between them, and then it's going to be keyed by the links going in. So the pages we link from, and those are going to be, if we stored the canvas page and the page ID, because for now we can do the canvas page, but that gives us the flexibility in future. We have the information that allows us to do the page ID. Probably overthinking this. See, this is the problem with programming, is it's a lot of just staring at the screen and pondering what you're going to do. And some people are just like, oh, I'll go in and start writing code and do this, but I'm very much a ponderer type of developer. Right. Yeah. We'll just do it where you're linking to the canvas page, because the whole saving the hierarchy stuff, that's going to be another change at some point in the future. It's no good trying to future-proof this too much, because the data we store probably isn't the data that we need. Though if it lets us do a migration, rather than requiring users to do things completely from scratch, then that is a plus. But then, yeah, we'll do it the simpler way. So what we want to do is we want to create page hierarchy. So we have page hierarchy here, and at the moment this is doing all this stuff which we are not going to use. So we're going to rename this to legacy page hierarchy. Let's factoring. Oh, I've just realised. Second. I've just seen the mic flash up without me making any noise and realised it was the fan was pointed a little too close to me. So, legacy page hierarchy. Then we want an actual page hierarchy. And we want this to be a final public class and to import data. By the way, page hierarchy, and this object collectible model object. Okay, so we want a weak var collection is going to be a model collection of hierarchy. Our model type public weak var. Our model type, that is going to be model type raw value page hierarchy. The ID is going to be model ID, model type, page hierarchy dot model type. We have the collection there. Then we have there was someone in a tiny car revving the engine and then zooming off, as they seem to want to do around here, despite the fact that it is a smallish road. Half the time I'm only going like 25 miles an hour because there's traffic going the other way, and sometimes it's buses, and sometimes you have to stop to let the buses through, so... I don't know why they do that. Right. Yeah. Well, it isn't even country roads, it's a main road. And yes, it does go to like a 50 zone a bit further up, but it's a 30 zone for most of it. And there's been at least one fairly big crash on the road while I've been here. There are schools not far away, there's a children's playground just off the road. It's a bus route, it's just like, why are you zooming? I mean, the police put a speed camera there, they're making a fortune. It also doesn't help that my road leads onto another road which leads onto this main road, and half the time you can't see properly the cars coming either way. So you've got to sort of stick the front of your car out to be able to see round the cars that are often parked on double yellow lines, to be able to see if anything is coming. So it's a massive pain that way as well. I'm surprised there aren't more accidents, really. Okay, so we have our model at definitions. We want our attributes. And what do we want the attribute to be? So a hierarchy, previously it was, you'd have a hierarchy. Now if you go to the legacy page hierarchy, and the hierarchy would have an ID, page ID, a frame, and then children. And then they in turn could have children and so on. Now we don't have children anymore, we have these two separate pages and links. So I think this is going to be an array of page ID, like an array of objects, or rather an array of structs in here, and same for the links. You once lived along a serpentine curve up a mountain and spot walls along the outside of many curves, and still remember the sound of cars scraping against the bricks. And rescue scraping cars and the contents off the same bricks. Yeah, it's just... if you want to go racing, there are plenty of racetracks around. Page links. Oh no, we'll just do links. Any. But then we're also going to have a var links into hierarchy, which is going to be any, because you can have multiple of those. Yeah, I mean, if you're that close to the Nürburgring, then go race around the Nürburgring. It's there for a reason. Okay. Right, so the pages, what does that mean? Hierarchy page. Page hierarchy has a hierarchy page. Or we can just call it page ref, because that's what it actually is. And we're going to have our canvas page ID, model ID. Page ID for the actual page that is being shown in the canvas page, because we do need that to actually create the canvas page, because the canvas page doesn't know about the page. And then var do offset to position, e.g. point. Now the position is going to be position relative to the hierarchy. So what we're going to do is, when we have a hierarchy, the hierarchy is going to have a position, which I'll have to work out what it is based on these, but it will either be like the bottom left, possibly the top left of the content of like the root of the hierarchy, and then the position of, say, this page will be 0, 0, and then these will all be positioned, so it's like it's all relative. Actually, I need the sizes as well, so that needs to be a CG rect. Relative frame. Relative content frame. So yeah, you're going to have that. You have the relative content frame, and then for each of the links in, you're going to want the relative position from the link in. So struct well, links into, we can do entry points. So a link ref is going to be a var source ID is going to be a model ID, and var destination ID, which is going to be a model ID, and var link is going to be a page link. I mean, we could always have it not delete the links, just simply remove them from the canvas, but then they'd show up if you're getting it from canvas page, though we could check whether the canvases are the same. And then all we need to do to restore a link is restore the canvas. But then Hmm. That is a very good point. Why do we bother deleting them? Why don't we just leave the canvas page, leave the links, and just mark them as not visible? So when you open them again, we don't have to reconstruct everything. All we need to do is have a list of canvas pages and a list of links to make visible. Of course, the problem there is if you move the root page, then they will be in the wrong position. And there's also the fact that if you just close and never want to open it again, but unlikely. Because you're going to want to, yeah. Moving and adding is going to be, because we're going to need to store about as much information anyway. And the moving gets a bit finicky. Yeah, we'll just delete and recreate it. It's not that big of a deal, it's easy enough to do. I mean, I don't think I've added anything to canvas page, have I? Frame, title is pulled from there, maintain aspect ratio is pulled from the page, Z index doesn't matter too much because you're reopening those. Yeah, so it's just the page, the canvas. Canvas we have, page, the ID, and the frame. Everything else is either pulled from the page, doesn't actually matter when we recreate, or is a relationship. Okay. So this is going to be a bunch of page ref. This is going to be a bunch of link ref. Then we want struct entry point. Going to be an array of entry points. So for the entry point, we want the canvas page ID that is linking to us. We want the relative position, which is going to be a CG point. We don't need the size because we're going to have that there. The relative position is basically the relative position for the entire hierarchy. We need the page linking to us, and we need the point. Okay. I think that should be enough. We are going to need to make all these public, and I'll shift these to an extension. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna have to init with alias string any plus station. Um. Can I somehow be like do content types or something? Where lies with a model file. Right, can I do some more on here? So we have no, it's model collection. No, not model collection, model object. So you have a model ID array, model file. Can I do? Could I add, for example, a case dictionary where it is put in string and a model property conversion to do other do other conversions, but then you get things like the page link, which where do we actually use property? The property conversions on the thing. If let's get it there, we do it in update objects. So you could do dictionaries. And then you could potentially add like custom. Because like if I go to canvas page. Doing string from rack. Do rect from string. So we could add rect and point, but then for something like page link, that would just be you could store it. Like you could do a custom thing where we would also have a. Maybe making this a bit too complicated, but you could have case custom, and then you could have a do be any to be any where you could have like a to and a from, but that's probably a bit too much. I think a dictionary makes sense because we get stuff like this where it will be useful to have this where we have a dictionary. I mean, it can even be a dictionary of model plist keys where it's some subtype that is stored. I'm going to say, okay, for these plist keys, we want to apply certain things. So for entry point, we want this to become a model ID. We want these to become model IDs. We want these to become model IDs. Rather than having to do that ourselves. Because we're sort of doing that with the page content. Okay, well, I'm just going to step away for literally 1 minute. And when I get back, we will get this implemented. In fact, if I model this, we'll get this dictionary side of things implemented. So, see you in a minute. Okay. So you use long max, but apparently that's a BSD extension, and the official one is L long max. If it's in all caps, is that just a macro then? I'm surprised it's a BSD extension. You'd think that if it was going to be an extension, it would be something like a GCC extension or a LLVM extension. Let's go. M3. Which must be exhaustive. Case dot dictionary. Let version. Private function convert to dictionary property value to model plist key of any. On macOS but not Windows. Windows is always a bit weird because if it's a BSD extension, then is it on Linux? Or is it purely a BSD thing? Alright, so we want to guard let dictionary equals property as of any. Else we return nil. And then what we want to do for key in dictionary.keys property, so that must be property value conversion model plist key and model property conversion. And this is going to let plist key model plist key. Okay. Yeah, search engines are not the best for these kinds of things. I mean, I don't suppose you could go to the Linux repository and just do a search through that. I'm sure that might be a bit better. Hmm. Well, I mean, if it's in Linux, you'd assume that it's come from BSD then, if it's a BSD extension. Where are we? So we get the plist key. Var is going to be our... Can we do dictionary.map value? No, that doesn't give us the key. Okay, var and diction. Model plist key of any. So we're going to want a private fly conversion. All property conversion value any returns any optional. And what we're going to do is take this, go there, and we're going to turn that, then turn self dot dictionary version. If let converted value equals self dot apply conversion value, and then converted plist dot plist e equals converted converted value. And what that allows us to do is we can go here, if let conversion equal conversion with plist key, else the return dictionary dot plist key equals value what equals dictionary key, because at the very least we're always converting the keys, but if there's a conversion needed, if there's conversion, and let converted value equal self dot apply conversion to what we need to get value, don't we? Or do we? Plist key. I don't know why it does it as optional, because it can't fail. I also don't know why I've stuck a semicolon on there. So the return dictionary plist key equals converted value. let that value in dictionary. It was a BSD extension because that's where Darwin usually steals its Unity thing. It's a GCC legacy thing. These are obsolete names for those. They're only enabled if new sources defined. Okay, so you shouldn't be using long anyway. Windows is using the modern version. Which, yeah, that probably makes sense. If they were introduced before Windows started, like if like L-long Max was introduced before Windows started using them, then, and it was not using GCC, then yeah. Just do that as any. Now the reason I'm fine doing this is that this will never be nil. Like, or rather, there is a very slight chance it will be nil, but it's only going to be nil if there's a nil property, which should never happen, because if there's a nil property then the thing should not be in the P list. So it's like, technically it is possible for that to happen. It's just so many different things have to have failed that it's like, I mean, literally we're enumerating the keys. It's not a case of, oh, we may be getting a key, like searching the dictionary for a key that doesn't exist. No, for the key to have vanished, it has to have vanished during the enumeration of the keys. That should not happen. Sometimes you can say something like, oh, this is, I mean, this is why sometimes something like Objective-C or Ruby or C, C++, these languages that aren't as safe, you can sort of, you want the escape hatch of stuff like this, where it's one of those things of, yes, I know technically cannot prove this to be true, but the chance of it not being true is so vanishingly small and requires so many more obvious things to have broken that there's no point checking it. It would be like checking that when you are stood on Earth and you drop something that it's going to, like in mid-air, that it's going to fall to the ground. You don't need to test that, because for that not to happen, gravity must have broken, and if gravity breaks, you have a far bigger problem on your hands than random objects not falling to the ground. And if this is ever nil, I have a much bigger problem than that going wrong. Yeah, Kotlin can be smart about it, but this isn't really a case of it being smart per se. It's a case of, I have a dictionary, I'm enumerating the keys, so therefore when I get the value for that key out, if it is a string of any, technically, like, any can be nil. So but the thing is that this is being pulled in from a property list, and the property list is generated from a dictionary, and if a property is nil in the dictionary, then it is not assigned, so the property is never written. So it's just a whole bunch of things of, you can get this to happen, but you have to have like seriously hacked away at the data files. So it's just one of those things of just stick this in to silence the warning, because like I say, can technically be nil. It's not incorrect for it to say that it can be nil, but if it's nil, then basically my code for writing, my code for reading, or dictionaries or loops, or like there are a dozen other things that have failed, and if those things have failed, then there are much bigger problems. And this is a lesson in knowing when to tell the compiler to shut up, I know what I'm doing. Meanwhile, this okay, so we're going to have to pass the content into all of them. So that needs content, then this needs a content property, even though it doesn't actually use it, but it needs it to be able to then pass it in here for in case there's a file, a model file, which we're never going to use in this version, but it may do at some point. Oh, there are times when I will ship a false unwrapped thing. Like, for example, I'm doing it here. Model plist with row value key. This never fails, it's just, it has to be optional because of row representable. But it's one of the... I treat this as I would an exception in Objective-C. Whenever you throw an exception in Objective-C, that is always treated as, that is programmer error. If you ever reach that, that is programmer error. If this ever gets hit, it is programmer error. So this should never fire in a shipping app. If it does, it is a serious bug that I need to do. And in this case, if it fires, then it really is a serious bug, because if I can't just pass a string into this to get a model plist key, then reading and writing does not work. And my models do not work. And if the models and the reading and writing does not work, then the app does not work. So content. Okay, so the model reader is done. We have the model writer. Where we want private conc apply conversion. To value. and you want to return we want to return any and we have model files. And what we are going to do is cut that, and for files, we have model files. Value. Actually, no, we don't need that. We can just return that empty. Turn that empty. Return model file.plist representation model file, and for a dictionary case.dictionary let conversions on private func yeah, most of the apps are multifunctional, so just because root finding component is hosed doesn't mean you can crash and prevent the user from using it. Yeah, I mean, it's all about what the failure mechanism is. So it's one of those things of, if reading and writing documents does, like, if something like the plist key thing does not work, it's like, okay, that's like saying the Swift arrays don't work. Well, if Swift arrays don't work, then there's no point in the app running because the app can't run. So it's the same thing here. It's one of those things of, should the app be able to still function if that is there? So if it is something like, you can't do this one feature, well, okay, well, the rest of the app should still run. But if the fundamental data model of the app cannot function, then it's like, okay, what are you going to do with the app if the data model's broken? Dictionary. The plist key could not work because you have a threaded code that is missing a lock. Yeah, but I mean, that's not technically possible, because I mean, literally all the plist key is doing is you initialize it and it sets the raw value to the value you pass in. Like, if that gets hosed by a missing lock, then I want the app to crash. You can try and be clever with stuff, and at some point you just have to say, just turn it off and on again. Right. So we're going to take a property in, take our conversions, which is our model plist key property conversion, and yeah, we want to any, and going to be we have model files, and this can just turn self.converts from dictionary value conversion. And what we're going to do here is guard let dictionary turn value no, it's not a case. If someone edits a plist in a text editor, then the only way it could fail is if they make the plist invalid. Oh no, this is the key thing. The plist is I switched it from being an enum to being a struct, a raw representable struct. So there are no invalid ones, and I have systems in place that can handle that. So I mean, if you save with a newer version, like for example the data model we're working on now is going to be version 3, so you won't be able to open this in older versions. Now version 2 has several properties that have been added, and what it actually does is a version will load the properties that it knows, and if there are any properties remaining, it's failable because raw representable makes it failable. That is the reason why. I could add a non-failable version, but then raw representable complains that there isn't a failable version, so then I need to call to the failable version anyway. It's annoying. It's because raw representable needs to make it failable because it's a protocol. It may be failable, but in my case it isn't. So I just get around it. And this is what I mean. Sometimes you just have to do things that. Oh, I can't do that. I need to make that any. Yeah, so this is actually going to be better doing it like that, because then I can do if let dictionary equals value as raw representable. No. Like I say, you can add it, but it is not part of the raw representable protocol. Like I said, I can make a non-failable version, but the non-failable version is just going to call to the failable version and force unwrap. So I'm not getting rid of the force unwrap, I'm just getting rid of where the force unwrap happens, and it's simple enough to... It is quite literally fewer characters of code to just do the force unwrap where I need to, because Xcode will warn me when the force unwrap is not used, and then there's no issue of, oh, which one is it calling? Is it calling the one that can be optional or calling the one that cannot be optional? So, well, I mean, yeah, you can you can do it that way, but like I said, the key thing is that it's just easier the way I've done it. It's fewer things to worry about. Right, so I don't need that anymore. What I want to do is for key in value dot keys. And dictionary equals value as that. I don't want the else there. Why? Oh, because that wants to be dictionary. And return generic of any. If let's conversion key, and let's convert it value equals the conversion equals key, and the converted value equals self dot apply conversion to dictionary value actually no, we can read it to dictionary. Freeze up, let value equal dictionary. Yeah, dictionary A to converted value. Value any turn dictionary dot of value converted value else return dictionary key dot draw value equals just the value, and then we return dictionary. Okay. Oh yeah. Converted value files. Bar files. What? That's model file. And files and contents of files. Everything should build. Good. Right, now we can go all the way back up to page hierarchy. Coppice. And we can do property conversions. Oh god, it's an array of dictionaries. So all that. It's not a dictionary, it's an array of dictionaries. Then I need to do an array of. So I need a generic array, so I might as well get rid of the model ID array and just make it a generic array of some type. Okay. Okay, back we go down to M3 data. So we have model ID array, which we don't want. We just want it to be an array of model property conversion. And we're going to do array let let conversion equals okay. Oh, that's fair point. That had called. Let converted value files equals self.apply conversion to value plist p equal. Oh no, we want yeah, plist key equal converted value files dot and content. Okay. So for an array, let conversion okay. Some array then. An array of any. Hey, I can. Right. So what this needs to be is we want private from array, which is array. So we can that way, can't we? Oh, it's code. Why be annoying like that? So array conversion. Property conversion, and then we're going to return an array of any array of model file. Alright, so converts from array. For item in array, we want for array any. The reason I'm doing this rather than the map is because we also want return files, which is going to be model file, and I don't particularly like doing a map where it's also got some other side effect. So we're going to do let converted value converted files equal self.apply conversion to item return array and converted value return file and content file return file. Hopefully, so that still doesn't. Oh yeah, because we need to turn self.convert from array conversion. Okay, model writer. Yeah, let's make that optional. And turn nil. And then this is just if let that, then we update it, otherwise we don't. If let that, we do that, otherwise, oh yeah, because there may not be a conversion. Else return array dot append. Ooh. Ah. Oh, the conversion should always apply. Yeah. For now. Should always apply, but you can get away with it not applying. What else is that going to create? Nothing. Okay. Okay. Model ID. And button array, let conversion. Convert to array value conversion. Conversion. Convert a provision. Gonna be an array of any. So property value and any. Are you return nil? Then we want to let pass the content. Actually, we may be able to do a. Can we return a map? I will do that. No, we can turn array map, and it is going to be if let converted value self dot apply conversion to value content. Oh, no, actually, we can just do it single line. What we can do here is that'll be on there. That'll be apply conversion to 0. That or $0. Now the reason we can do this, where technically we should be applying this conversion to everything, but if it doesn't, then it goes wrong, is that this will be solved further up. It won't be solved in MV data, it will be solved up in Coppice core, because in Coppice core, for this particular property, we'll be saying get this and convert it to an array of model IDs, and if that doesn't work, then it will not find that, and then it will fail, and then we will fail in the Coppice core layer with a specific property. So that is an optional type. Hopefully. Okay. So then we're going to go to Coppice core, and we're going to fail even more. Or rather not that much. An array dot model ID. And then here we want to return so we're going to have our model plist key, don't we? Canvas page, how do we do model plist? Right. So we want extension model plist key. Something about building, failing and learning. Yep. You fail a lot and you learn a lot. So we've got a model peerless key, and we want to enum page hierarchy. We'll do static let entry point equals model peerless draw value entry point pages and length. Okay, and then in here we want another enum for entry point, and it's going to be static let canvas page ID to and copy paste. Down there a sec. Enum page ref paste. Column select and do this super fast. Copy that. Non-failable initializer did satisfy the failable requirement. Okay, let's give that a try then. Guess it does. Okay then. I can delete all these then. Hey Fabro, no it is not. It is where are we? Samaria from Popski. If I do this, I can bring up Popski. So this is what a fair bit of the music is. Well, all the stuff in there, but this is from Dangerously Magnificent Cosmic Adventure. There we are, Samaria. But yeah, if you follow that link, we've got quite a few things. I've got stuff from both Dangerously Magnificent Cosmic Adventure and Eternity, his two latest albums. Oh, the theme! Sorry! I thought you were meaning it's the song. No! No, the theme is actually my own theme. It is, where are we, themes? MQ. This is one that I have used for a long time. I built up, it originally was a light theme, and then I've just, yeah, built it up, so it's sort of based on some bits and pieces. Like similar stuff, so like green comments, red strings, purpley pink keywords and stuff, but the rest of it is just stuff I've done myself. Key thing in Xcode is that I always have my comments in Helvetica, because Why not have them in a different font if you can? But yeah, I mean, at some point I probably will put my themes up somewhere, maybe on GitHub or something like that, because I've recreated it for Nova. I think I've recreated it. I don't think I have it for Visual Studio, because this is one thing that I find really, really annoying. If I want to customize the editor theme in Xcode, I create a theme, I go in, and I go in and I change the color, I change the font, I can change stuff there. Nova, you've got to create some sort of bundle. Sublime Text, you've got to create some sort of bundle. Text Edit, you've got to create a bundle. Visual Studio, you've got to create a bundle. I think the JetBrains ones are good because you can actually create a UI. It's just like, stop making stuff so hard in developer tools, please. I want to create a theme. Let me create a theme. If you are going to require me to create a bundle, create a tool so that I can create a theme with a GUI, rather than having to constantly search for stuff of how do I create this. Oh, we're not going to tell you. You're not even going to provide documentation for it. It's just like, why? Please, please just... Like, people constantly complain about Xcode and say, oh, Xcode can't do this, Xcode can't do that, blah, 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 blah. Can your IDE, can your text editor do this? No? Well then, shush. You're getting your money's worth today. You've got 2 rants so far today out of me. Oh, this isn't going... This shouldn't really go over your head, Kieran. This is like saying... what would it be? It's just... If you want to customize some parts of the app, and it's a common part of the app that everyone is going to customize... I mean, it would be like in Blender or something. If you wanted to customize key bindings... And you can go in, you can customize key bindings. You can do that in Photoshop. You can do that in all these editors. Now imagine if, in order to do that, you had to create some sort of text file in some sort of language and do all sorts of codes and stuff to do that. I mean, Blender, you sort of have to do that if you want to add additional ones, but for all the existing key bindings, you can change them fairly easily. And there's a whole UI for that. And it's just one of those things of, why can't they just create a UI? Let me, like, oh, I've got a theme. I just want to change one color of that thing. I want to make one thing slightly differently. Nope, you can't do that. You've got to create an entirely new theme and then work out which thing you want to edit in a text editor. It's just like, stop trying to sell your text editor by making me have to use your text editor to edit things in your text editor. If I didn't want a GUI, I would use Emacs or Vim. It's like, if I want to go down that route, I will use the command line. The whole point of me using you is you are a GUI, so act like one. It's like, no wonder software is so bad when developer tools are bad. But yeah. Oh, favorite. Sorry, I missed the follow. Okay, no. The follow should definitely have worked. Something is definitely going wrong with the overlay. Right, I need to delete these. But yeah, that is my rant on developer tools for the day. Let's assign through subscribe. Is read only. Assign of type date, subscript of type because of that. Compiler errors. Folder, just need those. Okay. And then in here, don't need that. And okay. Don't need to do that. And then we get there. Okay. So, for page hierarchy dot entry points is going to be an array of dictionary of and then we just want the canvas page ID. So page hierarchy dot entry point dot canvas page ID is a model ID. See how much we can do when we put our minds to it. We can have conversion that goes all the way down into an array, into dictionaries in that array, into properties on those dictionaries in those arrays. Alright, canvas page ID is a model ID. To page ref, page ID, and then it's source ID destination. Those ref, source ID, ref, destination ID. There we go. We've got those to do. You know, at this point I cannot be bothered, so I'm going to step away for a sec just to fill up my glass of water, and when we get back we'll do some overlay stuff because I have heard enough for today. I'll do a bit more possibly tomorrow evening off stream, but yeah, so I'll be back in just a minute and then we will do some overlay stuff, see if we can figure out why the follows and the subscribers are not working, because I'm pretty sure they should have been, because that follow did not do anything. So yep, I'll see you all in a minute. Okay, I am back and we are starting up Unity. So I'm currently looking through some stuff here, and there's someone here. Are they Twitch Dev Administrative Partner, Broadcast Tools DevOps? They're suggesting moving away from PubSub to Event Sub. Sensory solution chat. Message in specific channel. So let's have a look at the blog. Using event sub. During last event day, we used event sub. That. Okay, so in the Twitch API, you can take some. So there are different ways of accessing the API. So I'm having to use the API and PubSub and the client, because some things you can only get through PubSub, some things you can only get through the API, some things you can only get through the chat stuff. What I am looking for, all posts. Okay, I'll develop that. Okay, 21 developer. Okay. All requested features. announcements. Anything. I want to get to 20. So, Twitch command line, Twitch developer day 20. Here we go. Like, alright, blah 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 blah, renew the answer. It's available at all, only available as an endpoint, but not as a webhook or WebSocket. Unlike webhooks, PubSub, EventSub is transport neutral for event subscription. Okay. So oh, that's just a testing bit. Let's go TwitchLib. So yeah, Kieran, in terms of what I do, for example, with the subscriber stuff, I currently use PubSub to get the actual subscription side of things. But then I need to call the API to get the user's avatar picture. Like PubSub and the client in here, there's the client stuff that does stuff that happens in chat. PubSub is get certain bits and pieces, but then the API is telling Twitch to give you something or do something. So it's you telling Twitch, do this or give me this, whereas the others are Twitch telling you that something has happened. So issue. Here's issue. Event. Okay, so event sub does not support that. So there's no way to test. Which test up sub. Let me try something. Let me open private window, and if I go to Twitch, I log in as PilkyBot. Oh, I want you. code? So I need to look at the code, and the code is that number, that number, that number, that number, that number, that number. Yay! Right, let me. I'm gonna follow with Pilkybot. So nothing came through. So I am going to unfollow. Now, if I follow again, let's see if Stream Elements will. Okay, so Stream Elements does not do that. Let's refresh that. Okay, let's start this. And what I want to do, I want to open Visual Studio. Stick over here. And where's the follow manager? Okay. So attach to Unity. Right. Let's follow. See if this comes in. Doesn't, but it's not coming in. Stream Elements either. Okay. Let's try this. We get here. Sub is set. So over. Okay, so it must only send it once. What other PubSub stuff is there that I can listen to? Oh, go to Twitch Lib. Go to Pub Sub. Must be some Pub Sub stuff I can. On channel points rewards. Oh, channel point. I thought. Oh, channel points are pub subs. So if I. Yeah, so pub subs working. So why? Huh. Right, I'm going to have to throw some logs in here. ebook.log follower. Oh no. Pub sub on follow. For subscribers. Sub on subscription. Okay, so I guess if I unfollow, okay, and I follow, is that going to do it? No, it's not. Hey, don't know why that's not working. At least we'll be able to see if it fires. If I do this and leave those in. But I think that's all I can really do. I mean, PubSub is connected, so I should be receiving a follow. Can I do? Pub.log PubSub error logs.response.error. Yeah, so because if I look at the logs, it tried connecting, then it failed, which is to be expected because the authentication would be out of date. Then it closed, but then it connected again, and we know it's working because we have the Yeah, I am completely unsure what is going on. Because I mean, following, it should be doing this. and it wasn't. Oh well. Yeah, I think I'm going to call the stream there, just end just a little bit early, for two reasons. One, I have been up since 6 a.m. I'm tired, I'm hungry, and I would like to have some food, and it is quite warm in here. Like it's not cooling down for some reason. I mean, it's cooler than it has been, but it is still fairly warm. About 24 degrees in my office, and that's with the windows open, and it's muggy. So, yeah. I need to go get some food. The other reason is the person that we can raid is someone that I don't get to raid very often, which is a Megan, who is a wonderful iOS developer. So we are going to raid. We are going to go and raid Megan, and they are a iOS developer working on their iOS app, doing SwiftUI and various things like that. They are really great person, so hopefully we'll be able to go give them a nice raid. And yeah, I want to thank you all for coming. We haven't quite got everything we wanted to get done this week. I wanted to get a bit further along with the page hierarchies, but we've hit a few yaks that needed shaving, but we will get that done this coming weekend. On Wednesday, I will either be doing a bit more Coppice, but more likely doing some overlay stuff. Maybe some modelling just to relax. But yeah, I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day, a wonderful rest of your week. As I say, I'll be back 6 p.m. on Wednesday. But until then, as always, happy coding.